This neighborhood doesn't look cheap. Gated entrances, golf courses, lakes, and quiet streets. The kind of place that feels like retirement money. But here's the surprise. It's still affordable. Today, we're breaking down Hot Springs Village, Arkansas, one of the most luxurious places in America that most people never talk about.
At first glance, Hot Springs Village doesn't feel affordable, and that's intentional. You don't accidentally build a place like this. Gated entrances, guardhouses, miles of quiet, winding roads. This is the kind of neighborhood that immediately signals one thing: privacy. From the moment you pass through the gate, the pace changes. Traffic disappears, noise fades, and suddenly you're surrounded by trees instead of billboards. Hot Springs Village is not a town. It's not a suburb. It's a self-contained community spread across thousands of acres in the Ouachita Mountains, designed for people who were finished chasing things. The homes here don't compete with each other. They coexist. You'll see single-story houses tucked into the landscape, built to blend in rather than dominate. Wide driveways, large lots, mature trees. Nothing stacked, nothing rushed. This is not fast luxury. This is settled luxury. The kind that comes from planning instead of hype. There are 9 golf courses woven through the village, not as a selling point, but as part of the geography. They don't feel like attractions, they feel like infrastructure. Lakes appear where you don't expect them. Quiet, private, glassy in the morning. No jet skis screaming for attention. Just water, docks, and people who understand silence. This neighborhood was built around the idea that comfort should be permanent, not seasonal, not trendy. And that philosophy shows. Streets curve naturally with the land. There are no straight lines demanding speed. You're not meant to rush here. Residents walk, they bike, they stop in the middle of the road to talk to each other, not because they're inconsiderate, but because there's nowhere urgent to be. The village attracts a very specific kind of resident. Retirees, yes, but also remote workers, early retirees, and people who did well enough to opt out early. This isn't where you come to reinvent yourself. It's where you come when you're done explaining yourself. The homes range widely in style and price, but the common thread is space. Even the more modest houses feel intentional. Nothing feels temporary. In most parts of the country, a gated community with this level of scale, amenities, and natural beauty would come with an aggressive price tag and a personality to match. Here, it doesn't. Homes that would cost twice as much in Arizona, Colorado, or the Carolinas remain surprisingly attainable, not because they're inferior, but because Arkansas doesn't sell dreams. It sells reality. And reality, it turns out, is undervalued. There are no luxury brands lining the roads, no valet parking, no curated downtown pretending to be authentic. Instead, you get functional amenities, medical facilities nearby, grocery stores that prioritize convenience over aesthetics, services that exist to work, not impress. That's part of the appeal. Hot Springs Village doesn't need to convince anyone it's special. It's built for people who already know what they want. Crime is low, partly because the community is gated, but mostly because the population is stable. People don't drift in and out. They arrive, settle, and stay. There's a sense of collective ownership here, not enforced by paranoia, but by familiarity. Neighbors recognize each other, not in a forced way, in a quiet, predictable way. The infrastructure is well maintained. Roads are smooth, utilities are reliable, everything feels organized without feeling restrictive. That balance is rare. And then there's the cost. This is where the illusion breaks. Monthly expenses remain reasonable. Property taxes are low, home prices, even in desirable sections near golf courses or lakes, still reflect a market that never went fully insane. Which leads to the obvious question, why is it still affordable? Because Hot Springs Village isn't trying to attract everyone. There's no airport inside the gates, no nightlife district, no social media buzz. If you need energy, spectacle, or constant validation, this place will feel empty. But if you value quiet mornings, long walks, and knowing your expenses won't suddenly double, this place feels like a strategic retreat. This is luxury stripped of ego, a place where the reward isn't being seen, it's being left alone. And for a growing number of Americans, that kind of lifestyle doesn't feel boring. It feels like winning. Hot Springs Village isn't flashy, it's not cool, it's not trying to be. And that's exactly why it works. Because in a country obsessed with more, this neighborhood quietly offers enough.
Here's the part that surprises people. Not the golf courses, not the gates, not the lakes or the quiet. The surprising part is the price. In America, we've been trained to believe that if something looks expensive, it must be expensive. That luxury automatically comes with financial punishment. Hot Springs Village quietly breaks that rule. Homes here regularly sell for prices that feel completely disconnected from the environment around them. Not fixer-uppers, not starter homes. Actual, finished houses in a gated community with amenities that would normally be reserved for people paying twice as much somewhere else. In many states, a neighborhood with private lakes, multiple golf courses, controlled access, and thousands of acres of maintained land would immediately push home prices into a different psychological category. Here, it doesn't. And that disconnect is what catches people off guard. You can stand in front of a well-built home, surrounded by trees, quiet streets, and visible order, and realize that the price is closer to middle class than elite. That doesn't compute for most people, because we associate gates with exclusivity, and exclusivity with unaffordability. Hot Springs Village exists in the gap between those assumptions. Part of the reason is location. Arkansas doesn't carry a prestige tax. There's no coastal premium, no tech hub inflation, no lifestyle marketing machine inflating expectations before you even arrive. Which means the homes are priced closer to what they're worth, not what they can get away with charging. Another reason is timing. Much of the village was built during an era when developers weren't chasing viral demand. They were selling stability. The result is a housing stock that didn't ride the extreme highs or lows of speculative booms. While other parts of the country saw prices detach from reality, this place stayed anchored. That stability is rare and undervalued. Then there's the cost of ownership. Property taxes remain low compared to national averages. Utilities are manageable. And while there are association fees, they replace a long list of expenses you'd normally pay separately in other communities. Maintenance, security, shared amenities, bundled, predictable, and boring, which is exactly what most homeowners secretly want. There's no constant pressure to upgrade, no arms race of renovations, no feeling that your house is falling behind the neighborhood. Everyone here already opted out of that game. That's the real surprise. This isn't luxury built to impress outsiders. It's comfort built for insiders. The village doesn't attract speculative investors flipping homes every 18 months. It attracts people who plan to live there. And that keeps prices grounded. Demand is steady, not explosive. Turnover is low, and panic bidding never really took hold. In a housing market dominated by emotion, Hot Springs Village behaves logically. That alone makes it unusual. The surprising truth is this. This place didn't get cheaper. The rest of the country just got more irrational. When you compare what you get here, space, privacy, safety, and amenities, to what the same lifestyle costs elsewhere, the value gap becomes impossible to ignore. In some states, you pay more just to be near the idea of luxury. Here, you pay less to actually live it. That's why people who move here often sound confused at first. They keep waiting for the downside, the hidden fee, the catch. And eventually they realize there isn't one, just a different set of priorities. Hot Springs Village isn't cheap because it's failing. It's affordable because it never needed to explode. And in modern America, where chaos is usually marketed as opportunity, that
might be the most surprising thing of all.
So the obvious question is, if this place looks like luxury, feels like luxury, and functions like luxury, why is it still affordable? The answer isn't mysterious, it's structural. Hot Springs Village doesn't sit inside a hype economy. There's no tech hub nearby driving salaries into the stratosphere, no entertainment industry, no constant wave of newcomers arriving with cash and unrealistic expectations. Without that pressure, prices stay rational. Another factor is that this community was never designed to grow infinitely. It was designed to stabilize. There's a fixed amount of land, controlled development, no rush to cram in more units just to chase demand. That limits speculation. Investors don't swarm places where appreciation is slow and steady. They swarm places where chaos creates opportunity. Hot Springs Village offers the opposite. The population here is older, more settled, and less reactive. People aren't flipping houses, they're finishing lives. That creates a housing market based on use, not urgency. There's also the Arkansas factor. Arkansas doesn't market itself as a dream. It doesn't sell lifestyle fantasies to the rest of the country. That lack of branding keeps demand localized, and localized demand keeps prices grounded. Taxes are lower, operating costs are lower, labor costs are lower. Builders didn't need to inflate prices to survive. And because many homes here were purchased outright or paid off long ago, there's less pressure to extract maximum value on resale. People sell when it makes sense, not when the market tells them to panic. Then there's the HOA. Yes, there is one, and yes, people complain about it, but it also enforces consistency. No extreme overbuilding, no sudden zoning shifts, no short-term rental takeover. That predictability discourages speculative money. And finally, there's demand psychology. Hot Springs Village doesn't appeal to everyone. It never tried to. If you need nightlife, buzz, or cultural validation, you won't look twice. If you equate success with visibility, this place feels invisible. That filters the buyer pool. What's left are people who value quiet, affordability, and long-term comfort. Fewer bidders, calmer negotiations, reasonable prices. So it's not cheap because it's undesirable, it's affordable because it's selective. And in a housing market addicted to attention, being ignored is sometimes the greatest advantage.
So there you have it. Hot Springs Village, a neighborhood that looks like luxury, feels like luxury, and somehow manages to stay affordable. It's calm, it's stable, and it's exactly the kind of place most Americans overlook. Sure, it's not flashy. It won't make your Instagram followers jealous. There's no nightlife, no hype, no ego-driven chaos. But that's the point. Sometimes the real luxury isn't being seen. It's being left alone. So would you move here, or do you need your luxury to come with a side of attention? Comment below, and remember, the quietest neighborhoods often hold the loudest surprises.